Hi, I'm Ken. This is the second part in a series of 2 videos. In the first video, we presented 5 principles that we believe if you live those principles in your fundraising and in your fundraising in face-to-face solicitation of major planned gifts, you will ignite or reignite your passion for fundraising. But we have 5 more principles. I want to present those to you now, and I'll reiterate what I said in the first video. As we continue these videos, you'll see we're presenting a whole new approach to fundraising. And these second 5 principles go more into the organizational approach, but still reflect the same benefits to you, the fundraiser. Really, they beg the question, all these principles. How do you approach your job? How do you gain success in securing leadership, major gifts, and planned gifts? Find the way to experience the joy your donors will have in making a gift, and enjoy the satisfaction and passion you will have as a fundraiser. But first of all, I'm Ken. Again, this is a channel for empowerment dialogue for fundraisers. It's a forum. It's dedicated to empowering all fundraisers, to empower donors to realize their utmost philanthropic dreams. On the channel, we will present all areas of fundraising, the challenges, the solutions. We want your feedback. Give me some direction, ask questions. It's a forum for fundraisers to really put our craft on the table and look at it. Let's move to the 6th principle now. So the 6th principle is this: all dialogues should be guided by questions and active listening. All the dialogues, every dialogue you have with a potential donor should be guided by your questioning and your active listening. This is part of the empowerment dialogue system. When we finished off the previous video, the last principle was emotions are the source of all gifts. And it left us with this question: what techniques do we use to make this happen? And the first one is that all dialogues should be guided by questions and active listening. We know donors want to be heard. Research is the modern donor clearly tells us that. So invite them to talk. One of the guidelines is to have the prospective donor talk the majority of the time, and the fundraiser much less. After all, it's really about the donor. I often say that fundraisers simply talk too much. In fact, I think we're drawn to this profession because we like to talk. However, clearly, we have to reverse that. The way we do that is to move the conversation along in a very creative way, and it's through using open-ended, well-placed questions, and combine that with sensitive, active listening. Active listening. Let the person know you're hearing what they're saying. This is another foundation of an approach to fundraising that will shift, perhaps, the way you've done your face-to-face fundraising. What is important is what the prospective donor is thinking and feeling. It starts from within the prospective donor. Our job is to pull that out, and we do that with really thoughtful, open-ended questions. And with careful listening to what their reservations are or what information they need, we can respond to them in the best way possible so that they can come to their own decision and feel empowered by the fundraiser in the process. This is very important. Deep down, everyone wants to be heard, wants their sentiment to matter. This new approach to fundraising makes this happen, and you will feel satisfied in making this happen. Can we apply this new approach to all of fundraising? Leads us to the next principle. That principle is this: fundraising is really a series of engagement points. I want you to think about that. It's to recast the whole world of fundraising as a series of different engagement points where we interact with a prospective donor or existing donor. Think of it that way. So every engagement point, a meeting, a telephone call, an email, a letter, a web view, or even an event attendance is an engagement point. And in each of these engagement points, if we place an open-ended question into that engagement, there's an opportunity to listen and respond to what the prospective donor has to say. These are the elements of a powerful dialogue. How do we make this happen? Well, we do it by building into every engagement a dialogue loop. So we imbue every engagement point with a dialogue loop to invite and nurture an ongoing conversation. Fundraising becomes a dialogue, always an ongoing dialogue through the life of the donor. Dialogue is a two-way street. How do we do this? We start with the prospective donor. We have a meeting. At the meeting, we question and we listen. We have a phone call. The same thing happens. We ask clear, simple, but pointed questions, and we listen. So we're building a dialogue loop into every engagement. If it's an email, which is a one-way transmission, but we request a response in that email. Things like, I would love to know how you feel about this. If you want to get back to me, I'd surely appreciate it. I'd love to discuss this with you. The same thing with a letter. Build it into the letter. So we're always putting forth a clear message to the prospective donor that we care about what you think and feel, and we want to hear it. Even on a website, build a survey in, build a response mechanism, ask questions. This is our new direction. Are you feeling about that? We're starting this new campaign. We would love to hear your views on that. Ask for the response before you even ask for the gift. Get into the dialogue. There might be a large gift there and not a simple small gift. And even an event. Events, which are quite often kind of the bane of fundraising. However, if you take the approach of interacting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prospective donors in a simple conversation, get into a meaningful conversation with that prospect, you will accomplish amazing things. There's an opportunity for engagement and dialogue. The prospective philanthropic donor will feel different. They will feel listened to, respected, and never manipulated to make a gift. Instead, the message is clear. We care what you think. The fundraising operation will be philanthropy-focused, not marketing-driven, which is really quite often a one-way communication. And it will be laying the groundwork for rich conversations on leadership, major, and planned gifts. Now, to work strategically with any prospect in a conversation, we have to understand principle number 9. We use specially crafted dialogues to move the prospective donor through the philanthropic decision cycle. How is that philanthropic decision made? We've created this decision cycle and time-tested it to understand how every philanthropic gift is made. It's a distinct step-by-step cycle that every prospect goes through in making a gift. Let's look at it in detail. It starts always here. Remember principle number 4? It always starts with the mission, the buy-in to the mission. The first dialogue will always be the mission dialogue. It's where you start. Things like, you've been a loyal supporter of our organization. Why have you done that? Why do you care? And that's a well-placed, open-ended question. And you get the prospective donor to tell you in her or his own words why the mission is important to them. That's the starting point. And remember what we discussed in the first video. When they hear their statement in their own words, they will remember them. They will own them. And you cement that once you get that statement, by saying, when you hear yourself saying how much you care, how do you feel? So you bring out the emotion that goes together with that logical statement. And that combination is a powerful starting point for every gift. The next step is a dialogue on the case for support. What area of the mission will be furthered by a gift? Why is it important to you? Or what is important to you? So there's, when we do our training on the empowerment dialogue system, we go into detail on this, about these questions. However, you should know that there's a set roadmap to making the philanthropic decision. So any conversation has a purpose, and it's to lead the donor, prospective donor, through this decision. And these first 2 dialogues are the key. I often say if we get both of those, strong buy-in to both of those, and the accompanying emotion that stands behind them, you're going to get a gift. Now or later, large, small, current, deferred, you will get a gift. People care and they want to have an impact, if they have capacity. There's others, gift types. There's different ways to make a gift. Again, you use an open-ended question. How do you prefer to support the causes you care about? Throw it open. Or you might be testing for estate gifts. Many people consider leaving a gift in their estates to causes they care about. How do you feel about that? There's techniques for finding the ways the prospective donor could or would want to make a gift. There's capacity, size of gift. There's consultation with others in some types of gifts, certainly estate gifts, but also certain current gifts, large current gifts. You want to have people check. You may be soliciting family assets here. So this is an important step in many conversations. Then there's asking for the gift. Obviously, we're not going into any detail. We have 2 training courses just on this, on this philanthropic decision cycle. asking for the gift becomes a totally different approach to fundraising. It's basically this. If someone has told you through the mission dialogue that they care deeply, emotionally about the cause, and if they bought into the mission, yes, we have to make that happen, then it's basically, the ask is, here's what you've told me. Would you like to go ahead with that gift? You've told me how much, in a way, you would like to make this gift. Should we make it happen? Do you want to make it happen? The ask is really a response to what the prospective donor has already told you. That way, the fundraiser is never trying to convince, never trying to manipulate. In fact, we are only responding to what the prospective donor has told us. There will be objections. Of course, there are reasons, but there's techniques for pulling those objections out, putting them on the table, and getting perspective to overcome the objection. And finally, thanking and recognizing. That's the final step in the philanthropic decision cycle. And then, of course, it leads to the next gift. And we go around again. So that's an important principle, and it really shapes the empowerment dialogue approach. This is a roadmap. And fundraisers have told me, and they say, Kent, I love this because I always know where I'm going to go with every conversation. There's a step-by-step roadmap that we can follow very respectfully, very naturally, leading the prospective donor through a decision, an organic decision, and they will thank you for leading them through that process, because the gift will come from them, purely through their own deliberations and thinking. This is a very powerful principle to understand and know how to use thoroughly. What is the result? What is the result of these, applying all 9 of these principles now? Well, it's principle number 10. The donor must always feel listened to, valued, respected, and empowered. Go way back to that statement that Alain Mugisha made. And I started off the first video in this series with. And he said, people were thanking him for the opportunity to make the gift. When putting it all together, these principles establish a powerful, highly effective approach to a rich philanthropic program. All types of gifts will flow naturally organically, if you will, out of the donors caring about the cause that we, the fundraisers, represent. Major gifts and planned gifts or state gifts will come easily, and importantly, the donors will feel differently about it. They will thank you for making the gift. And as a fundraiser, there's nothing more satisfying to having a donor thank you for the opportunity to make a gift. You know you've done your job at a high level. They will feel a high level of connection with your programs and your capital needs, with your organization, because their gifts will come straight from their hearts. And it seems to them that they created the gifts, not you, the fundraiser. Each donor will thank you for the opportunity to be part of something they care about, and will feel respected, listened to, and ultimately empowered. And they will look forward to the next opportunity to make a gift. You will feel the passion for the critical work you do as a fundraiser. Those are all 10 principles that will ignite or reignite the passion that you and that I have for our jobs. Remember what I said in the first video. fundraising is a noble profession. And these principles will cause you to celebrate that. Until next video, good fundraising. Oh, if you like, there's a subscribe button down in the corner. Press it to be notified of the next video. And as we delve more deeply into what it means to be a fundraiser, what are the challenges? What are the solutions to our challenges? That's what we're going to explore. Give us a thumbs up. It causes YouTube to spread the word more about this forum for fundraisers. Until next time.